Your skin is crawling. You've been tracking an antelope for 6 hours under the Kalahari sun, and every pore on your body is caked with dust, sweat, and the iron smell of blood from the kill you just made. Your hair is matted. Your hands are sticky. And yet, when you return to camp, you don't smell bad. Not to your family, not to yourself. Because your body, your ancient human body, was never supposed to be clean the way you think of clean today. In modern America, the average person showers 2.1 times per day and uses 17 personal care products every morning. Your ancestors used zero. Let's rewind that. Zero doesn't mean they were walking around covered in filth. It means they understood something about the human body that you've completely forgotten. Your skin is not a surface. It's an ecosystem. Right now, as you read this, roughly 1 trillion bacteria are living on your skin. That's more bacteria on you than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Most of them are beneficial. They outcompete harmful microbes, produce vitamins, regulate your immune system, and yes, they break down the compounds in your sweat that actually cause odor. When you strip them away with antibacterial soap every single day, you're not getting cleaner. You're dismantling a defense system that took 300,000 years to build. Your Homo sapiens ancestors in the Pleistocene epoch. That's the period from 2.6 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago, didn't have soap. They didn't have shampoo. They didn't even have the concept of daily washing. And they were fine. Better than fine, actually. Anthropologist James Suzman spent years with the Jew/hoansi people of the Kalahari, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer groups with lifeways that echo deep ancestry. He noted that people bathed infrequently, maybe once every few days, and often just with water or sand. Sand. You read that right. They would rub dry sand over their skin to absorb oil and slough off dead skin cells, then brush it away. It worked because the mechanical action removed debris without destroying the skin's natural barrier. How often do you scrub your skin until it squeaks? Here's where it gets strange. Your ancestors didn't just tolerate being less clean. Their bodies adapted to it. Human sweat is mostly water and salt, but it also contains tiny amounts of lipids, that's fats, and proteins. Fresh sweat is nearly odorless. The smell you associate with body odor only develops after bacteria on your skin metabolize or break down those lipids and proteins into smaller volatile molecules. That process takes time. If you're moving camp every few days, sleeping in the open, and exposing your skin to sun and wind, those bacteria never accumulate in the dense colonies that produce strong odor. Wind is a disinfectant. Sunlight is a disinfectant. Your modern life, with its enclosed spaces, synthetic fabrics, and climate control, is a bacterial greenhouse. Now let's talk about hair. Your scalp produces sebum, an oily substance secreted by glands at the base of each hair follicle. In modern life, sebum is the enemy. It makes your hair look greasy. You wash it out, sometimes twice a day, and your scalp responds by producing even more sebum to compensate for the loss. It's a cycle. Your ancestors never entered that cycle. Archaeologist Mary Leakey, working at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, found evidence that early Homo species were using simple combs made from bone and wood as far back as 1.8 million years ago. Combs, not shampoo. Combing distributes sebum down the length of the hair shaft, waterproofing it, protecting it from sun damage, and actually preventing it from looking greasy. After a few weeks without shampoo, your scalp stops overproducing oil. Your hair reaches equilibrium. It becomes shinier, stronger, and yes, cleaner, because sebum has antimicrobial properties. But what about actual dirt? Your ancestors lived in the dirt, they dug roots, they butchered animals, they sat on the ground and slept on hides. Didn't they get infections? Here's the twist. Dirt is not the problem. Dirt from the natural environment contains a diverse community of soil microbes that actually train your immune system. A study published in 2015 by researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital found that children raised on farms, with regular exposure to soil and animals, had significantly lower rates of asthma and allergies than urban children. Your immune system evolved in a world where you were constantly exposed to environmental microbes. It needs that exposure to calibrate. When you sanitize every surface, wear shoes indoors, and wash your hands 20 times a day, you're not protecting yourself. You're confusing your immune system. It starts attacking harmless substances like pollen or peanuts because it has nothing else to do. Let's reconstruct a specific scene. It's 40,000 years ago. You're in what is now southern France, inside Chauvet Cave. The ochre paintings of lions and rhinoceroses on the walls are so vivid, they seem to move in the firelight. You've just returned from a hunt. Your hands are stained red with iron oxide pigment and animal fat. You don't wash them. Instead, you rub them with a paste made from crushed charcoal and rendered fat. The charcoal is abrasive. It scrubs away dried blood and dirt. But it also does something else. Activated charcoal, the kind your ancestors made by burning wood in low oxygen, has a porous structure that adsorbs, with a D meaning it binds to toxins and bacteria. Modern hospitals use activated charcoal to treat poisonings. Your ancestors used it to clean wounds, treat stomach ailments, and yes, clean their skin. They didn't have the chemistry. They had the results. Here's another one. Wood ash. When you burn wood, the ash left behind is alkaline, meaning it has a high pH. Mix it with water and you get lye, a caustic solution that breaks down fats and oils. That's soap. Or at least, it's the chemical reaction that makes soap work. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner documented the use of ash water mixtures among forager groups in Papua New Guinea for washing and degreasing. It's harsh, too harsh for daily use. But when you've just butchered a large animal and your arms are slick with fat up to the elbows, ash water cuts through it in seconds. Your ancestors didn't use it every day. They used it strategically. Does your body actually need to be degreased every single morning? Let's talk about teeth. You might think this is where ancient humans really suffered. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no floss. And yet when archaeologists examine the dental remains of Paleolithic humans, they find remarkably low rates of cavities. A 2014 study led by Alan Cooper at the University of Adelaide analyzed ancient dental plaque and found that hunter-gatherers had far more diverse oral microbiomes than modern humans, and far less evidence of the specific bacteria that cause tooth decay. The reason is diet. Your ancestors ate almost no refined sugar and very few sticky carbohydrates. They chewed tough fibrous plants and raw meat, which mechanically cleaned their teeth. They also chewed on twigs. Specifically, twigs from plants like licorice root, neem, and miswak, which contain natural antibacterial compounds. The frayed end of a chewed twig works like a toothbrush. This isn't speculation. The use of chew sticks is documented across Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, going back thousands of years, and it's still practiced in some regions today. But here's the part that will make you uncomfortable. Your ancestors also had parasites, lice, intestinal worms, skin mites, lots of them. Paleoparasitology, that's the study of ancient parasites, has found evidence of head lice in human hair dating back at least 10,000 years, and probably much earlier. But parasites are not the same as being dirty. They're a sign of close social contact. Lice can't jump. They spread through head-to-head contact, which means grooming, sleeping close together, and sharing space. In other words, they spread through intimacy. And while lice are annoying, they're not particularly dangerous. Your ancestors lived with them. They picked them out of each other's hair. Social grooming wasn't just hygiene. It was bonding. When was the last time someone touched your head for longer than 30 seconds? Now let's get really weird. Urine. Yes, urine. Human urine is sterile when it leaves the body, assuming you don't have a urinary tract infection. It's mostly water, but it also contains urea, a compound that breaks down into ammonia. Ammonia is a powerful solvent and disinfectant. The Romans used aged urine, which has a higher ammonia content, to clean wool and whiten togas. There's also evidence that some ancient and traditional cultures used diluted urine as a hair rinse or skin wash. It sounds disgusting, but chemically it's effective. Your disgust response is cultural, not biological. Your body produces urine every day. It's a waste product, yes, but it's also a tool. Your ancestors didn't waste anything. Here's the counterintuitive twist. The less you wash, the less you need to wash. Your skin's natural pH is slightly acidic, around 5.5. That acidity is part of your body's defense system. It inhibits the growth of harmful bacteria. Most soaps are alkaline with a pH between 9 and 10. Every time you wash with soap, you temporarily disrupt your skin's pH. Your body has to work to restore it. If you wash constantly, your skin never fully recovers. It becomes dry, irritated, and more vulnerable to infection. Dermatologists call this the cleansing paradox. You wash to remove bacteria, but in doing so, you damage the barrier that keeps bacteria out. Your ancestors never entered this paradox. They let their skin do what it was designed to do. So what does this mean for you? You live in a world of synthetic fabrics, processed foods, and artificial fragrances. You sit in chairs. You sleep in beds. You don't track antelope for 6 hours. You can't just stop showering and expect to smell fine, because your environment and your diet have changed. But you can stop washing so aggressively. You can let your skin's microbiome stabilize. You can use water and mechanical action, scrubbing with your hands or a cloth, instead of stripping your skin with detergents every single day. You can comb your hair instead of shampooing it into submission. You can expose yourself to dirt, to sunlight, to wind. You can remember that your body is not a surface to be sterilized. It's an ecosystem that has been refining itself for 300,000 years. Your skin is crawling. Not with filth. Not with disease. With life. Trillions of microbes that evolved alongside you, that protect you, that are you. You've been taught to wash them away. Your ancestors knew better. They knew that being clean didn't mean being sterile. It meant being in balance. And maybe, just maybe, that's a kind of clean you've never actually felt.